I think it's safe to say I'm not the only one who loves realization parts clothes, but unfortunately their pieces are way out of my budget. Good thing I know how to sew. There's a belly dress has been on my to-do list for a while now, and I think it's finally time to tackle it. It's actually really simple to make, and if you want to follow along and make your own, I actually made a pattern for you guys. It comes with two versions, a mini and a long version. If you want the pattern, you can find the link in the description down below. First, you need to print the pattern. However, if you want to try and make the pattern yourself, those are the overall shapes that you need to draw. As you can see, the sheets have numbers at the bottom. You have to assemble them following this rule. After gluing all your sheets together, cut each pattern piece. The skirt of the dress is cut on the bias. That means being cut at a 45-degree angle. Fold your fabric as I'm showing in the video and place the pattern pieces for the skirt on the 45-degree fold. The bodice pieces don't have to be placed on the fold. Measure the distance to the selvage to make sure they are placed properly. If your fabric has a directional pattern, do not cut it on top of the 45-degree fold. Actually, just fold the fabric in half, connecting the selvages, and then place the pattern pieces. Cut the bias binding as well on a 45-degree angle. Let's start with the bodice. Place the front and back pieces right sides together and sew it at the shoulders. Now, take one of the bias binding pieces, fold it in half, and iron it. Place the opening of the bias binding at the right side of the neckline, as I'm showing in the video. Sew it with a 1 cm or a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Trim half of the seam to reduce the bulk. Then, fold the bias binding towards the inside of the dress, keeping the seam inside of it. Top stitch it in place. Now we will need to gather the bottom of the front bodice. Sew a basting stitch at the bottom of the bodice. Do it with the longest stitch length you have on your machine. Don't backstitch. Then gather the bust until it has the same length as the top part of the skirt. Then place it right sides together. After watching the footage, I noticed it wasn't super clear how you're supposed to place the pieces. You should sew each bodice piece until the middle of the top of the skirt. That way, it will create a triangle. Go slowly and pay attention to this part. Now, overlock the seam. If you want, you can press the seam down and top stitch it, and it will look really clean from the inside and the outside. Now repeat the same step with the back skirt. Sew the back bodice to the skirt, right sides together. Now we'll make the ties. Fold two of the bias pieces in half, right sides together, and sew it close. You can make it as thin as you would like. Then turn the ties inside out. Now place the back dress right sides together with the front dress. Place the straps inside, right at the waistline. Your pattern piece will come with a line indicating where exactly that is. Now we have to finish the armholes. Take the bias binding and prepare it by folding it in half and ironing. Place it at the armhole. Fold the edge to the inside to keep it from fraying afterwards. Now sew. Trim the excess fabric in half to avoid bulking, and fold the bias binding to the inside of the dress and top stitch. Since the dress was cut on the bias, leave it hanging overnight so the fabric can distort. After that, you can use the pattern pieces as a guide to trim the excess. Hem the bottom with a thin hem. You can fold it twice inside or overlock it and then hem it. And this is the result. Which version do you like more? I personally like the longer version a bit more. So if you liked the video, please click on the like button, it helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe! I post new sewing videos every week. See you next time. Bye!